Hello, I'm Raph. I'm playing a Warforged Gloomforged named Styx. He is a Paladin and has been recently reawakened and is learning about the world around him with some new friends that he's just met.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampir. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic Druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
Hi, my name is Josh. I am from the Roll Together RPG stream, and I will be playing Killian Maxwell, a half-elf warlock who has come to Barovia. He was with the party previously but has lost them and has joined up with the Tempest Guild on their adventures.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. A warning, gentle viewer. Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which means you may hear adult language or adult themes throughout this episode. Hello! Hello! Welcome everybody to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to have you all back joining us for our Curse of Strahd campaign. We have had a pretty incredible series of sessions, and our session last week was a pretty intense battle. We'll go through all of that in the recap. We do have everybody here tonight. We've got all of our main cast members, as well as our guest member, Andrew, who's sitting on my right. On my right, your left. And we are pleased to have you back again with us, Andrew, as the character of Raspip. Raph, you missed last session. Have you caught up, or do you want me to do a really thorough recap?
Thoroughly recap me, please, Owen.
I will thoroughly recap you. We also have Jared here with us tonight. However, you will not be able to see his camera. Technical difficulties prevent us from gazing upon his beautiful face, but hopefully we'll be able to see it by our Wednesday session. In terms of other fun announcements, obviously this isn't so much fun announcement, but in 2 weeks' time, so the week of the 22nd of July, we won't have our Wednesday and Thursday night sessions. Curse of Strahd is still going ahead on the Monday, but I'll be away for the Wednesday the 24th, Thursday the 25th, and then actually, unfortunately, all the way through into the weekend. I'll be away at a conference, so we won't be able to have our regular sessions. Coming out for some entertainment on YouTube during that time, I will be recording some playthroughs of The Wandering Village, as well as Synergy, and I'll have those episodes dropping sequentially, because by the time I am away, all of the Disco Elysium episodes should be out. I finished recording the last episode of Disco Elysium today. We didn't get the best ending, but that's okay, because it's all part of the journey. I gave it a red hot go. And hopefully it will. Hopefully you'll be able to let me know what I missed out on by not doing some things properly. So let me know once we get up to that bit in the comments how I went. That's pretty much it for all of the news around the outside of things. Has anyone else got anything fun to share before we jump into the recap?
Just a reminder that Maisie Peters, phenomenal artist out there. Jump on Spotify, jump on YouTube Music, check it out. We've got the emote, MP, Maisie Peters. Love the work.
We should also really specify, not sponsored, just Jacob's obsessed.
Big fan.
Some would say unhealthily so, and those are all the people sitting around me, but that's all right.
No,
it's trying to give a leg up to a struggling artist. It's a noble cause.
Mm-hmm.
It's a noble cause.
The dripping, the sarcasm in that was incredible. That was venomous. I really liked it. Thank you, Jared.
Not all heroes wear capes, that's all I'm saying.
And they're certainly not sitting in front of the portrait of a goblin in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So let us do our recap and jump into the session. Oh, and perfect timing. Welcome, Furple, for bringing in a raid. Thank you so much. What have you guys been up to tonight? You picked it very, very spot on. I was just about to do our recap, but thank you so much for jumping in. Hope you guys have been having some fun. Let us know what you were streaming. Love to know what you guys were up to. I will do our recap, and we will jump into the session. Our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild, Theo, Luther, Jonor, Grinner, and Tithla. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team have been travelling west in hopes of an escape from this dark land. The group are facing off against the Druids of Yester Hill, following an attack on the Wizard of Wine's vineyard, with the help of allies old and new. With Davian Martikov and his son Elvir currently in the clutches of the Druids at Yester Hill, the team were divided on how to approach the situation. Theo wanting to start the rescue mission immediately, while Jonor was keen for a rest first. While Jonor enjoyed a nap, the rest of the team spent some time researching the Druids, and learning the timeline for the ritual would likely coincide with the blood moon in a day's time. With the party now rested, the rescue mission to Yester Hill began, Raspip using polymorph to bring Stefania with them after her aunt Lara had forbidden it. Arriving at the hillside, a draft plan involving a Raspip-based distraction was discussed. However, before it could be fleshed out further, Raspip followed the draft plan and began to walk up the hillside. The rest of the party, now panicking about what to do next, could only watch on as the Druids sprang from hidden alcoves and attacked the tiny gnome. In response, Raspip cast polymorph again, this time turning Stefania and himself into giant apes. With the combined might of the Druids now firmly fixed on the 14-foot-tall gorillas smashing the ritual circle into pieces, the gang snuck around the edge of the hill and approached the tunnel entrance to the caves below. This simian strategy of Raschimps actually paid off, both Raschimp and Gorilfania dealing some incredible damage to the Druids' forces, but the real blow against the Druids was dealt by Jonor. A lucky hit on Raschimp caused the polymorph spell to fail, leaving Stefania exposed and at the mercy of the Druids near the stone monolith circle. Jonor, leaping into action with a powerful shatter spell against the stones to try and save her. This act split the circle and caused the magic to implode, taking out the Druids and the blights that were too close to the magic. While Raspip cleaned up the remaining forces with a fireball, Luther and Theo arrived at the entrance to the underground chamber, bumping into a figure lurking around the roots. This figure revealed itself as another off-worlder, a scout with animalistic traits called Sen. With the common purpose of taking out the Druids, the team agreed to a loose alliance before heading below into the dark recesses of the cavern formed by tree roots. As the party began to move slowly and stealthily through the gloom, emerging into an enormous chamber, the bone-white tree roots stretching into the darkness above, a single red eye opened in the bark of the roots. Then another, and another, until the entire surface of the tree was covered in glowing red orbs. Theo recognized this strange corrupted tree as a Gulthias Tree, also known as the Heart of Corruption, the source of the blights and strange magic the Druids had been wielding. The team launched into combat, Theo and Jonor unleashing fire magic, Styx heading straight into melee combat, while Luther and Tithla focused on targeting ranged damage. Raspip, having burned all of his magic earlier, quickly found himself out of mana, having been turning into and out of a giant ape multiple times. With an easy target in clear sights, the tree quickly took Raspip down and then started to go after Jonor, taking him down to 0 hit points as well. However, Tithla and Luther weren't about to let their friends fall to the tree, rushing in to take out the grappling vines and bring their friends back from the brink. We left off last session as the team finished off the Gulthias Tree, Theo critically damaging the tree multiple times, his hatred of the Blight Druids burning bright within his chest, and his attacks bursting into flame from Dracob's fire magic. And that is where we left off last session. We finished off as the flames from Theodore's attack currently in Beornling form, Theo, your Ursine form, smashing into the tree. Tithla, your Drake companions infuse strikes, empowering Theo's attacks with fire, causing this brutal flame to burn the cluster of roots from within. You watch as the bone-white bark of the tree slowly begins to smolder and crack, turning into ash as this flame quickly moves up the trunk, burning across the center of the large mass of roots and vines that make up the walls and floor of this chamber. As the tree begins to burn, the eyes going out one at a time, you hear that voice calling out to you, Theo, the voice that you had heard speak before, echoing in the cavern.
You may kill me, you may burn my roots, but I am corruption itself. I will not be halted. After life comes death.
And that is what you hear echoing through the chamber.
Well, I told you would not be here much longer. Thus, I will continue to not pay too much attention to you. You are nothing. You are vermin, and you have been disposed of like vermin.
Fair enough. As you stand atop the smouldering charred ruins of that central trunk, the ritual plinth, the altar just below you, I think you'd leapt off it in your final attack right into the heart of the tree. The altar below you having been slightly burned and damaged as a result of the striking roots and branches that were flailing about the place. As you look down into the heart of the tree, you can see the flames spreading faster and faster. In the very core of the tree, a cluster of roots and vines, very similar to the briar hearts that you had seen the Blight Druids carrying, the ones that they had embedded inside their own chests. You can see a much larger version of this, untouched by the flames, sitting in the very center of the tree.
Like actual briar hearts, or do they look like the Mardukov gems?
It looks like an enormous pulsating mass. Almost a little bit fruit-like, almost this like red membrane around the outside, pulsing with these veins and vines that move with each heartbeat. But the heartbeat is irregular. It's not the sort of typical boom, boom, boom. It almost seems to be pulsating as the tree begins to burn. You can see that the strands holding it up have burned away, but this core, this heart, whatever it is, seems to be untouched yet by the flame, almost sitting in place, protected by the vines around it. It's roughly about the size of a soccer ball. It's pretty big.
Would I be able to move my flaming sphere right in the middle of that there heart?
Yeah, absolutely. Styx, you're pretty close to the tree at this point, having rushed up before to save your comrades. In fact, for the benefit of our lovely viewers, I'll bring us across to the map just for a moment so that we can see how things were just before we moved over. As you move the flaming sphere, Theo, just with a mental command, as it rolls over the center of the Blight Heart, you hear this crack echo from within the flaming sphere. In a moment, the sphere begins to expand and then contract into a single mote, and then vanishes, the magic extinguished. But the heart turned into ash in a second, burned out by the final sputterings of your flaming sphere. As that happens, you watch as the body of the Blight Druid who you've been fighting before slowly begins to rot and liquefy.
So it very much seems that with the heart gone, the tree's like kaput.
Styx, do you want to make me an Arcana check?
I do.
If that is truly dead, then I believe all of these druids that are enslaved to this tree should follow suit.
Let's have a look. 13 Styx. That's not a bad Arcana check. As you look over the carnage Styx, during the battle, obviously, because Raph, you weren't with us last session, so I took control of Styx. Styx really focused on pretty much like hammering the tree with radiant damage, using your sun sword. You were able to kind of keep the tree pushed back a bit, sensing that the roots didn't want to be too close to sunlight. You sort of acted as a bit of a defender for the front line. You were mostly successful in that. I didn't roll fantastically for you, not quite as well as Haz did, getting, I think you got like 3 crits. 2 crits at the end. I think
over the session it was, I think it was 4 crits and nat 1. To finish it off, two nat 20s in a row.
Back to back crits. Yeah, it was
on
incredible.
My multi-attack in Brawling form.
It was very appropriate given your hatred of the Blight Druids as a Moon Druid. But yeah, so Styx, you've been mainly focused on melee combat, and as you pull your sword free of one of the roots that have been trying to attack your friends, you watch as the ghostly sunlight blade sinks back into your wrist, the hilt reforming into the bones of your or the bones and metal of your constructed arm. You can sense the magic from this waning and breaking. It's not so much that you understand specifically the natural magic involved, but as a Gloomforged, as a specialized Warforged, you can sense things that are enchanted. You have a connection to magically infused items, and you can feel the magic from this slowly ebbing away, breaking apart. It's hard to see where all the tendrils lead, even with your sort of single glowing purple eye. The magic is hard to trace all the fibers and threads, but you can see the weave around this is coming apart into pieces. It's very fair to say, at this point, anything connected to this tree, anything drawing magic from the tree, anything powered by the tree, is coming apart.
Can I pull just like maybe a forearm length of root that hasn't had its magic leached yet out? Just rip it off the tree?
Yeah, I'd say so. That's not hard. You just reach down, pull out a section of root.
I'm just gonna...
What are you gonna do?
I can't remember, obviously, because I wasn't here, so I can't remember it from last session, if has explained what this tree was to us.
I think Theo only really had a good understanding of what this tree was during the combat, and so I believe from memory, Theo, you sort of called out a couple of like brief things like, we need to burn it, it needs to die, I think was the extent of... But we're out of combat now, like we're not in initiative anymore. I mean, and Theo is right there in Beornling form. The roll of the flame sphere over the top of the trunk having burned away the very center of that core, that heart, leaving nothing behind. Theo's standing right there. He is in Beornling form, but you know he can speak telepathically to you if you called out to him.
With that little root that I have...
Cast into the fires from whence it came! Yeah.
I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on the piece of root just so that I can keep it going for a minute before, well, hopefully, before I get some answers about it.
If this spawns a whole new tree, I'm not going to be stoked on
it. What is this thing?
It is evil. It must be destroyed. Every root, every fiber, every ill-created fiber of this being must be destroyed.
But why? Is there no good in it?
There is no good in it. It exists only to corrupt, to destroy, to poison. Last session, I believe my role for what the hell that is covered that they make staves from it to control the twig blights.
Yes, yeah.
I have one of those in my backpack. I would like to cast that onto the smoldering ruins.
You would like to pull out one of the
I took one staff from the druids.
And throw it into the ruin. Yeah, I got you. Sorry,
for
some reason I thought you were like casting some spell through it, and I was like, oh, are you now? No, that's fine. No. As you pull out the quarterstaff, which you can see is covered in these almost like twirling vines. Theo, as you go to pull out the staff, something feels wrong. As you grab into it, the wood almost breaks and cracks underneath your fingers, and as you sort of pull out these fragments, you can see it's almost like rotten wood. The staff just comes apart in your fingers, breaking into these tiny fragments. It's almost like the wood has been soaked in water for days and days and days, and is now coming apart. And as you sort of toss the fragments onto the fire, they instantly burn up.
And I guess to do that, I probably would have had a Bjornling, actually. So
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's the goat form.
Styx, Lesser Restoration. Yeah, sorry, Jen.
You want to toss some Briarheart in there as well? Like reach in the backpack and grab the Briarheart I'd previously collected.
Jonor, as you go to grab the Briarheart, your fingers meet something squishy and wet, and as you bring them up, you can see what looks like this dark red ichor staining your fingertips.
Oh, my knife and my book. This is gross.
As you pull the book out, you can see the bottom of the leather is partly soaked in this black, red ichorish liquid.
Tithla, can please clean this with me?
Okay, it's just a little bit of black stuff.
I'll try to clean it.
Just here, let me wipe it down for you. Here.
As you begin,
sorry, I forget about you and your hands and how precious they are. Let me do it. Wipe your hands over there. Take my one clean cloth, and she gives it to you to wipe your hands on.
It's needed. It's important.
It's really not, but that's okay. We need you. We love you. It's okay.
As you begin cleaning off the book, Luther, you're sort of standing a bit further to the back at this point. I believe you'd been heading over to rescue Davian and his son Elias as you, sorry, Elvir. I don't know where I got Elias from. Davian and Elvir. As you released the two cages and the two of them took off. You can see nearby, Sen is currently picking through the remains of the ritual area behind the main stone column. So as you look over where these cages were, you can see that there are what looks almost like crates and barrels filled with all sorts of stuff. And as Sen sort of like begins kicking through them, she looks up and looks over towards you, Luther, and then looks over back at Theo and goes, "Yeah, so you didn't mention that your friend was not an animal. I feel really awkward about some of the things I said now. Is he going to be insulted that I was referring to him as like a good boy?"
No, I am a good boy.
As she hears you say that, you watch as she goes bright red. She's like, I didn't think you could hear me say that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm Sen. I didn't introduce myself properly before. I just thought you were like a companion animal or like a pet. Sorry about that. You're not insulted?
No, it's fine.
Cool. Because
I am, as you see, I'm a half animal most of the time, so.
Hey, me too. She like points to her like wolf-like ears.
Good.
I can't transform fully though. That's really cool. How do you do that? Is that like a thing you can do because you're like part animal, or is that something else you've picked up? Like, what kind of magic lets you do that? That's really cool.
No, I've been in deep communion with the spirit of the earth for many moons now, and it allows me to transform into my animalistic spirit.
Druid, gotcha. I wonder if you're like a
either
were
this or a cockroach usually. The two things that resonate most with my soul.
Sorry. First one I get. Second one, cockroach.
It is a noble creature.
Not where I come from. Is that just you, or is that your whole like?
No, but where from? Everyone reveres the cockroach.
I need a deception check. That's a blatant lie. it's an outright lie.
You want to retcon some lore?
Nope. No, that's an outright lie.
That's I think one of the better animals that he can turn into. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
18 on the deception check. She sort of slowly nods. Raspip, you're kind of defending him a little bit with this. As she sort of stops and nods, looks around at the rest of your faces. I mean, Styx, your face doesn't have expressions. There's not a lot she can glean from you. You're a hard Warforged to read with your bony plates and lack of expression.
I'm not.
If you think you can turn into such good animals, Raspip, why don't you show me right now? Turn into something more fantastic than my Bjornling form.
I'm not quite sure what exactly you want me to do. I've shown everybody here that I'm the superior shape changer in this instance.
Wait,
I don't have anything else left to prove, actually. Yeah.
Were you the giant? How did you become two giant apes? That's incredible. The Sen looks at you up and down.
I am just that good.
You can turn into two giant apes. Do they both share a mind? Like, how does that work?
Yes, I'm curious. Why was there a second ape, Raspip?
Yes. The second ape. Yes. Yes.
Would you like me to tell them?
Oh, go for it. All yours.
He brought her along.
I believe we were incredibly clear about not bringing her along.
So what happened was he said, "It's okay, you can come along," or something to that effect. I'm sorry if I've misquoted you, my best friend. I don't mean to do that.
As you say that he's your best friend, I give you a look of an absolute broken heart, Tithla. It's legitimately hurt by you calling Raspip your best friend.
Maybe this is why your friends abandoned you, Tithla. I want to.
Can I request that Theo make an insight check into Tithla? Because Theo would know that Tithla refers to many people as her best friend, but she only has one or two best friends.
Oh, okay. So you're using the Aussie.
None of them were ever friend. So for you to...
Wow. I think Theo would understand the difference between best friend and best friend. It's quite clear.
It's like I see what you're doing. You're using the Australian insult system where like somebody you don't like, it's like they're a bit of a shit, and then if they're
your mate now, mate, is a friend now. because Raspip said that we would do what, we're on the same page, and that was enough for Tithla. That happened a little bit ago. And
I turn my back on, just head over and hang with Luther and try and get the Mardikovs out of their cage.
Oh, they are out of the cage already. Luther's already freed them.
I just sort of look awkwardly at like Tithla, and I look awkwardly at Theo, and I sort of, are you okay? I don't. Mm-mm.
I just thought our time in the woods teaching her about woodcraft and steering her away from touching many dangerous things would have meant something, and I've never tried to sell her. I didn't throw rotten vegetables at her when she was in a stockade. I thought I thought of her as...
No one actually threw anything at her in the stockade. She threw things at
exactly, and I've never even done that. I stood by her through that. I tried to teach her what is more appropriate with friends, and here we are. Is she still? Oh. I thought of her as like a younger sibling, even someone family, but for her to pick Raspip.
Theo, you watch as Sen wanders over to you, puts a hand around your shoulder, shakes her head, and goes like, "Betrayal's so hard. Like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here." And it gives you a smile.
Clearly, I have space in my life for a new best friend. So
Sen turns around and sticks her tongue out at you, Tithla.
Oh.
Hi. How damaged do the Mardikovs look?
Davian and Elviat, not too bad. So at this point, Luther's already sort of given them things to get out.
Yeah, Luther, and I'll be using I have a healing kit, and I do have some small healing magic now with being a level cleric, level 1 cleric. So I'll have used. Actually, I got one more healing slot. I'll just do a quick healing word on the other one that might have been more injured.
I was just going to say, do you need me to slap a healing word into one of them?
Davian refuses to accept your healing until Elvia is healed first. So probably Davian would be a recipient of Theo's healing. But yeah, as you look over, Luther, spending a bit of time with your healer's kit and with your background, you can see that someone's definitely taken blood from them. There are several gashes on their forearms where someone has cut them so that they could bleed. You can see as well sections where hair has been cut off their head in just jagged tufts. It looks like the druids were taking things from them, harvesting things to try and to use as part of the spell.
Yeah, right.
I realized I swapped out every bit of defensive or healing magic I have for pure offense going into this druid.
you go to slap a healing word, you just slap him, and then you sort of pause, look at your hand, and go like, "That usually works."
You were talking crazy. I'm sorry. But Davian, Elvia, have either of you? We obviously came to rescue you, but the Aasimar were very concerned about the loss of your gems. Have you seen what the druids have done with them?
Yes, you need to check over on the ritual altar. I know they had at least 2 of them. One of them, it was fed to the tree.
Is this tree or is the one upstairs?
No. It's the same tree. The whole thing. This is the lower part of the trunk and the roots, but the mouth.
Oh, well, outside we had the big winter splintery thing we had to fight. The first time we did, there was one of the gems in there. Is this the tree, or it fed it to this rooty boy here?
They fed it to this rooty boy here. The other one should still be on the table, on the altar. I did not see exactly where they put it.
I look around, is it on the altar? Did I just completely miss it as I was vaulting over and...
Yeah, Theo, as you look over the altar, you can see that the stuff that's on it's been scattered across the floor, but as you look amongst the tree roots, which are slowly burning, could I please get you to make an investigation or perception check, please? Anyone else who wants to sort of have a bit of a poke around the chamber, have a bit of a look, absolutely can make a... investigation or perception check, your choice. 24 perception for Theo, 10 for Jonor. Jonor, your head is filled with the magic, the understanding, the knowledge. More importantly, with the minor traumatic brain injury you suffered as a result of dropping to 0 hit points.
Actually, it's an investigation based on so that's probably I need to go even worse.
We need to go again.
No.
10. Jonor, your head feels kind of fuzzy and it's hard to focus. Sounds occasionally almost have a bit of an echo to them, and the lights in this cavern seem unusually bright. Something's going on. You're not quite sure what at this point, but yeah, we did have both Jonor and Raspip suffer an injury by dropping to 0 hit points last session. Let's have a quick look. Raspip, that's a 9. Raspip, there's all sorts of crap around the tree. You can see there's bones. There's all sorts of rubbish and garbage and stuff. Theo, with a 24. Even though the roots are currently still burning away, you can see that there's tight clusters of these very fiber-like, twisted, gnarled wooden, almost like fingers wrapping around certain things from the floor. And as you look around the roots at the very core of this chamber, you can see the unmistakable signs of bodies. But your attention is focused for something shiny or something glinting, and you see, just over towards the left-hand side of this main central trunk, glinting in the firelight with almost like a dull orange glow, you can see a large gemstone, roughly about the size of your fist, tangled and wrapped up in the roots. It looks like it's been knocked off the altar.
I head over, pick that up, see that I assume it looks much like the...
Identical.
Well, does it seem to be corrupted in any way from its contact with the tree?
No, Theo, as you pick up and examine the gemstone, I'd say with your 24 perception, you can see that this one still has that almost forest green coloration, a beautiful emerald. Now that it's no longer reflecting the firelight on that angle, the orange sort of subsides and you can see this brilliant forest green. It seems uncorrupted. There's no signs of chips, cracks, breaks, or scratches, and that dark, almost like grey-black, I guess you call it like mottling that you saw on the other gem is not present on this one. It seems to have not been touched yet by the tree, or the corruption that comes from the tree.
Because if corrupted gem's got to die, if it's looking okay, in that case I'll take it back over to Devin.
Before you go any further, there's one more thing you notice.
Ooh.
A small body. Underneath the main altar, right between the altar and where the main central trunk of the tree is, a small body, almost like a child's. At first you mistake it for the body of a child. You can see withered skin, bright clothing, whites, greens and blues, but this almost like withered form underneath the roots. And as you kick aside and move over, you realize it's the body of what looks like a gnome or a halfling. The hair is still intact, this very dark green hair, and you can see on the face, even though the skin has almost withered and mummified, you can see these red markings that almost look like tattoos shining brightly in the gloom of the cave.
And does that match the description of any of the adventures we were sent here to find?
Theo, do you want to make me a quick history check to see if you... Because someone has it written down, but I don't think it's you.
I mean, I'm sure it was my former best friend.
I think it was 17. You don't need your former best friend, Theo. I've got to speak as the subconscious, Jacob. I'm sorry, but like when you make rolls, I've got to speak as the character's subconscious. Just like for your role, it's like Theo needs you. You know he's going to come back. He'll come around. Theo, in your subconscious, you don't need Tithla. You remember this stuff.
Of Disco Elysium.
I've always done this. I have always tried to speak in your character's mind, just like the individual aspects. But yeah, I have also been playing a fair bit of Disco Elysium. Yeah, your authority check. Sorry, history check as you examine the body. Yeah, there's really only one person this could be. The description matches perfectly Sonia Brightleaf. She was the captain of the White Banner. She was the leader. You know that she was a druid, you know she was a forest gnome, and you know that she was the leader of the White Band, the group that went missing second, the group that was sent in to basically try and examine the village for any signs of the original adventurers who went missing, which were the Twin Moons. And sure enough, as you look over her cloak wrapped around her, you can see on the back this sigil of what looks like almost like two rectangular white embossed sections with a triangle cutting through the middle, forming this this very sort of unique geometric symbol in white. I said engraving. Did I say engraving or boss? White, like embroidery was the word I was looking for there. White embroidery on the back of her cloak.
Well, I share that with everyone. I think this is one of the adventurers we were sent here to find. I think she was the druid that went to fight the druids here, much as we have, but she must have succumbed to the corruption. How hard's the earth beneath it? Is it like dirt, or are we on rock?
It's actually loose soil and loose earth. To a certain point, as you begin sort of like digging away a little bit the floor, you can see that this, as I described previously, this chamber seems to be almost a leftover ruin. It's being colonized by the Druids and converted into this chamber, but it looks like it was once a much, much older structure. And as you begin digging down, you very quickly find a stone floor, roughly about sort of like 40 centimeters deep. You don't have to dig very far.
Luther, Jonor, I think we should at least try to bury her. Maybe take the cloak back as proof we found her, but perhaps we should bury her somewhere a bit nicer than where she met her hand.
It says, well, Theo, you can see her cloak is held by a brooch, a golden brooch with that same symbol on it as well. If you're looking for something easy to transport for proof, the brooch would be.
We'll take the brooch, lay the cloak over her, and lay her to rest somewhere where it's a bit nicer. I mean, she's a druid and whatever, and she would like to rest in nature, I think.
Yeah, I'd be leaning on yourself for the type of clan she's in, for what the preferred burial would be, but we absolutely should do that, Luther. The ceremony would be, quite apt.
Theo, with your history of 17, you know she was a Circle of Shepherds druid.
What's that?
Well, whatever I know is we need to get out of here. This place is corrupted and she doesn't deserve to be here.
Agreed. We need to. There is one more missing gem, however. We should try to maybe it's up in the winter splinters that we killed above, but they took 2 of your gems, correct?
They had 2 here with them. One of them was on the altar, which I think you have found. I cannot believe there is even one intact. They told us that they had already turned them into these conduits, I believe the word was, for the tree's power. It looked like this one was wrong when I last saw it. It was covered in this like inky, smoky coloration, but it seems perfect now.
Well, I hand that over to Daniel. This belongs to you. You use it well.
Can I have a moment with it? Can I just have a look? Let me have it inspect this. I'll see what it's like, and I'll see if I can detect any of its like aura, its arcana. Give me a moment. And the journal begins to cast Detect Magic. The different hues of the schools of magic appearing as he blinks. So looking for the same school of magic that emits.
Jonor, as you look over the gemstone, you can see that it emanates with this very, very like subtle, almost like swirling vortex of light greens and dark greens melding together to form this aura around it, which you recognize not as a school of magic, but as a form of magic. This is a very heavily enchanted object with natural magic, the natural form of the weave. Interestingly, though, it seems, unlike other forms of natural magic you've seen before, this one seems almost calm, whereas nature magic tends to be quite tempestuous in appearance. This seems almost like this calm, serene, slowly twisting kaleidoscope of greens. In terms of actual enchantment, it's much more. It'd be. Oh, what would it fall under? You've put me on a bit of a spot here. I guess it would kind of fall more under. Not restoration. What would it be? Give me a quick second. It'd be more under transmutation. And I'd say probably mostly transmutation, with some elements of conjuration as well. If that helps.
Absolutely. Okay, well, just give me this. It's a bit of a green calm swell, which is unusual. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna have a walk around. Just come with me. We'll inspect the different parts of the cavern.
Jonor.
Top left, top right.
You don't need to roll for this, Jonor. You will need to roll for the examination of the rest of the cavern, but Theo has already pointed out the body of the adventurous Sonia Brightleaf. As Theo places the body, I'm guessing not on the altar, Theo, but maybe like brings her body out of the roots and lays her on the cavern floor.
I'll probably just pick her up and
just be holding it.
Her.
Even better.
Once Jonor took the gem off my hands.
Jonor, as you look over at the body Theo's holding in his arms, you can see that on her hand there's a ring glowing brightly with magic.
Oh, some kind of powering on that hand.
Yeah, specifically, it looks like it falls under, again, transmutation magic.
Hey, Luther, come and look at this ring.
Okay.
Did,
By all means, I shall come over and check it out. I just quickly like lean in. That's not one of that one's rings, and I look over at the gnome.
I don't believe so. This was here on the corpse, but look, it belonged with. I would feel wrong. I mean, it's not quite grave robbing, but it's also not quite ours.
She will not need it now.
There's a fair bit of similarity between the gnome's ring and my ring. It's yeah, I don't know. There's a little bit of similarity there. Have a look at it a little bit closer if you can.
I'm sorry, are you encouraging people to get closer to your ring?
Not to my ring. To
Well, perhaps if you handed over your ring, I could compare properly.
I don't think so. Raspip is going to cast a minor illusion in front of you, and basically it'll show clearly Raspip's ring.
You seem to have run out of magic, Raspip. What would say stop us from taking your ring?
Raspip is going to mage hand the ring off this corpse, and he's going to put it on himself.
As I see the ring being tugged, I would grab it to try and stop it.
Alrighty.
How would you?
Here's what's going to happen. You are holding a body. Here's what's going to happen. Raspip, I need you to roll me a spellcasting check. There's a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier. Theo, I need you to make me a sleight of hand check to try and catch the ring without just dropping the corpse. Before you get to it, before you get super excited, I will also need Raspip. If he's successful getting the ring, I am going to need a Constitution saving throw from Raspip as he puts the ring on. That's an 11. That's a 9 for the sleight of hand.
I am also going to. I was going to use my favored by the gods as well.
Okay, you don't need to. You don't need to.
That by an extra 5. I was going to use it anyway.
Do I still have blessed from?
No, I'd say the concentration for the spell has waned. Plus, Raspip would have it too. Oh no, Raspip was never given it.
Raspip didn't have it.
No, I was never given it, but yeah.
Raspip, as you quickly and
deftly. It dropped anyway in the fight at the end of the fight anyway, so it's not even up anymore.
As you quickly and deftly, your mage hand, much smaller, much slimmer, much faster than Jonor's pulsating muscular mage hand, as it snags in and grabs the ring off the corpse's finger and just puts it on your own. For a second, Raspip, I mean, pure joy. Another magic ring. Your ring that you came across, your special empowered ring, I mean, that's enabled you to wield magics of great power. What would a second ring let you do? It's at this point a cold, almost chilling magic begins to leach from this ring up your hand. I will need a Constitution saving throw, please. This is a cursed item.
I rolled a 17.
17.
Item amazing.
Raspip, as the ring moves onto your finger, you initially, as this cold begins to pull down your hand, you feel the embers of magic within you. You're out of spell slots, aren't you? And out of sorcery points.
I have one level 2 spell slot left.
Okay, so we're running pretty low on. We're pretty tapped out as Raspip right now, and as the magic begins to pulse through, you feel this curse begin to spread down your hand. As it does so, you reach deep within, calling upon the magic that powers you to hold off this curse, hold off this effect. And as you do so, you feel the spell, whatever this effect is, has halted for now.
Cool. This sounds amazingly powerful. I'm really excited. Terrifying, but yeah, excited.
I think the ring should rest with the Druid.
In case you haven't noticed, there seems to be a little bit more similarities than just the ring and my ring. I don't know whether or not you're aware of this, but it seems as if there's a bit of a trend with gnomes and magic rings in this part of the world. How many gnomes have you encountered in your travels so far?
Currently 2.
Now 2.
It's a little bit interesting that each one of them has got a magic ring, is it not?
It is not the biggest sample size.
Both
in terms of
is that a high
height.
joke?
What? No, what? I'm on the height joke. Let me talk, please. Height. I think maybe it's a little person needs rings, and I don't have any. So maybe it's just the short people around him. We need to stick together. You've already got one. I don't have any.
Perhaps if you're nice to your friends, you would get some.
I have a song to sing to you in a minute, okay? I just spent time Googling, all right? So just hold on.
Sorry. What did you spend time doing, Tithla?
What?
What did you spend time doing?
I spent time searching my memory banks of the infinite knowledge of the universe.
I spent time thinking.
I was trying to come up with Maisie Peter songs.
Oh, boy.
And
Raspip.
I did a good job. I've got one here. Here, I can sing it to you now if you want. Now we'll save it.
We can deal with our issues when we are safe. But for now,
that was my plan. But then you brought it up.
We should get out of this place, as Luther suggested. Get the Martikos to safety. Bury Sonia here, and we can work out what to do with this cursed ring. Once we are safe, as I lift the corpse up gently and then make towards the exit.
As you turn around, Theo, Styx is literally just right there behind you, just staring at you. Hello, Theodore.
Hello, Styx. What is it?
I have this root. I would like your permission to keep it for 1 hour.
No. It must be destroyed. I'm sorry. I know we all like trinkets of our battles, but this is too dangerous to keep. If it has any shred of that tree's magic, it could spread the corruption elsewhere. And look, I will do my best to fight against it. But if it gets a hold, I will be the first thing it would take.
Can you make me a quick Arcana check, Theo? This is relevant to Styx's point, because Styx has cast Lesser Restoration on this. I want to know how much you know about what Styx's magic has done. Natural 1. Theo, it's already controlling Styx. It's got him.
I would like to keep this for 1 hour and perform a ritual on it before we leave.
Theo, he wants to bring the tree back. He's trying to bring the tree back. You need to stop this, Theo. This is unacceptable.
Luther, please stop him. Convince him otherwise. This cannot be allowed to happen. If that root gets one step out of this chamber, it could spell the end of this realm.
Theo, there could be spores. Some trees spread by spores.
It must be cast into the fire.
I will not leave the chamber. I just want.
We must all leave the chamber, Styx. I believe the tree's magic has already infected him. Perhaps his artificial self is more susceptible to its magic. He is gloomish after all.
Well, I mean, we haven't really traveled with him much.
No, he could have always been an agent of this tree. But look, I'm inclined to think.
That's right. Trust no one, Theo.
But if he destroys that root, I think he should be back to normal. But it cannot be allowed to leave. Please help me. I gently lay the body down. Look, I will distract him. You get the stick and throw it into the burning ashes.
I can hear you. I am right here.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, yes, Styx, you are standing right next to him.
I was speaking telepathically, Luther.
Ah, fair. Okay, in that case then, Styx, you just watch as Theo turns around, stares at Luther for a bit, and then you hear Luther's side of the conversation. And then just watch as Theo slowly turns back and then looks at Luther again, then looks back at you.
I mean, I've known Theo for so much longer, I guess.
All right, Styx. Look, if you want these sticks that badly, I will help you. Come over. If you just look over here for a brief moment in time. Now.
Do you try
I guess
and grab the stick?
I guess I'll quickly pounce on it. Because,
Did you want to make an
yeah,
insight check first to see what you're picking up?
I was thinking of doing that real quick. I'm going to do that real quick. I will do a quick insight check.
I think that's appropriate.
Come on, another nat one.
Come on, another nat one. Yeah. I want this to become like
So
this to become like a game of werewolf.
22. I rolled it on the
22.
On D&D Beyond. You can see it in the log.
Yeah, I can see it in D&D Beyond. It hasn't come across on Roll20. That's okay. 22. Theo. You can't trust him. The magic's already gotten hold. Luther. Theo's really overreacting. Styx is just asking about this section of route, and you can see that Theo's really like concerned about this, taking this way too far. In fact, as you watch, you can see that the signs of blight on this route are almost completely gone. Styx has clearly cast some sort of magic on it. It looks like it's just a normal hunk of dry wood.
I needed a help with something like that, so that's perfect. You give me. Theo, I've journeyed with you a lot. We've been through a lot, and I do trust your instincts, but just have a quick look at this. And I show him real quick. I sort of point at some of where some of the blight is already receded and burnt off and just fizzled.
It's receded, it is not gone.
You can clearly see though that it is disappearing at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
So,
into our friend Styx, it is already controlling him.
All I require is 1 hour, and then it can be destroyed if needed.
Well, he wants to do a ritual. Is that not suspicious? When have we known Styx to do rituals?
How about this?
All of a sudden, he finds an evil root and wants to do a ritual.
It's okay. It's okay. Our friend over there, Jonor, have you still got that spell up?
Not me.
Yeah, I'm walking around. I'm in one of the corners now.
Can you please come over here and just let Theo know that no magic has taken residence inside our friend here, Styx, and is controlling them?
I'm sorry, I'm no expert, but isn't he pure magic? Isn't that his whole thing? Is that magic has taken residence inside of him?
He's literally a magic sentient item that's been melted down to make him. So Tithla, you make a really good point.
You do make a very good point there, my friend. But
thank you.
Thank you. You should clearly see the schools of magic. Am I correct?
He's absolutely dripping in. Owen, please insert school of magic here.
Enchantments. Enchantment magic, my friend. More importantly, the stick that Styx is carrying, you can see the very last faint vestiges of...
Would I be correct in saying that necromancy would be dripping off him instead?
Of Styx?
But he only has enchantment.
Styx only has enchantment. His magic is specifically an enchantment. He is...
enchanted by the root?
No, he's like that. You know the hilt I had before? It had a bit of enchantment to it, and
he's up to the hilt in toxic corruption spores.
The stick that he's holding is only glowing with the very faint last vestiges of evocation magic, which you suspect is probably the spell that Styx put on to clear it, the Lesser Restoration.
Yeah, no, he's just full blown enchantment. I've seen it before. This stick is the tiniest dredge is just on its way out. Just relax. Just relax.
No, do not tell me to relax. You don't appreciate what the serious threat this tree is. You wanted to have a nap before coming to finish it. This could have corrupted the entire realm if it had access to the Martakovs and the gems. But no, you did not listen, and still you do not listen. You do not understand the threat that this tree poses. And time and time again, you do not listen. All you care for is your books.
Well, this argument going on, I think Styx is going to take a couple of steps back, and using the root, he's going to make a big circle in the ground, sit in the middle of it, and start tracing some symbols and start casting ceremony.
Okay. Styx, cool. I guess the question I have to ask is, I was going to say, how sinister are you being? But you're already a baseline sinister just by your appearance.
Yeah, and frankly, when Styx sits down and the casting of ceremony starts, like this purplish, it's a vapor, but it almost looks like some sort of ichor just starts seeping out from all of his joints.
Of course it
with
does.
like this flickering gold light just spasmodically coming through as well, almost like an aeroplane headlights through a cloud sort
And
of
ceremony
concept.
has a verbal component, correct?
Yeah, which is mostly just
Yeah.
See, he's clearly possessed. Like, how can you both stand there and say it's not a big deal? I'm tired of being gaslit by you people.
Owen, would I know that he's casting ceremony? He has
Do you have
immediately
that-
said it in a very weird way, so
He
I need
has.
to know whether or not
Can
he's casting it.
Can I get you to roll me an Arcana check? You are starting to take some cleric levels, so you might recognize this spell.
What
However,
ceremony is it?
you don't already have the spell prepared or available to you, so you don't instantly recognize it.
There's 17 in the log.
Nice, 17. As you look
I can't use the
over,
roll 20 at the moment.
that's okay. It's all right. Sometimes the add-on doesn't always work perfectly. As you look across, yeah, you've got a pretty fair understanding of. What was that? Sorry, Theo.
I was just looking at the different rituals you can do, like coming of age on the route.
Yeah. He's doing a coming of age on the route. As you look across, he's dedicating the route. As you look across at Styx, Theo, at Styx, Luther, you're pretty confident you recognize what spell he's casting. It looks like the ceremony spell, which you've heard about before. In fact, you've participated in a ceremony spell. That's the spell
I have ceremony ready, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it ready.
We did it with.
I'm the one who cast it.
That's right. That's right. So you know the ceremony spell very, very well. In fact, I'm going to say that
Oh,
not only
that's
that, you
good,
also recognize specifically which ceremony Styx is trying to cast. Styx, which ceremony are you trying to do?
I'm going to try to cast.
He's going to marry the
Atonement.
stick. Sorry, what was it?
I'm going to try to cast Atonement, just on the off chance that maybe this wasn't originally a bad thing.
You're going to try and atone the stick.
What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing?
You know what's funny though? On a successful check, you restore the target's original alignment, so that's interesting.
Hang on, it's funny you've jumped straight to the second part, because it's the first part I want to focus on. You touch one willing creature.
Oh yeah, it's just a stick.
Well, it's part of a creature, and you can't say it's unwilling.
Why can't I?
We've all seen the What P video, okay?
I don't think it's a creature at this point, hey?
Part of one.
But it's not like if you chopped someone's arm off, you can't then cast Atonement on the arm with the argument, well, it's not unwilling.
I guess.
Luther, you know what he's doing.
Possessed our friend.
He so he is actually trying to cast Atonement on it, which is odd because that's just a stick.
It could only be something sinister. Look, if you're trying to change it, Atonement restores it to its original state.
The abbot. He's doing what we did to the abbot.
Also, yeah, he was good and he became bad. What if this tree was bad and became also bad?
Styx, I don't think
It's
this
still
is gonna
better.
work.
Well, I can only think that the tree wants this for some reason, and every vestige of it must be destroyed. No sane person would try to do this, so it must be the influence of the stick.
Theo, I've got some good news for you. You watch as the spell fails. You watch as the magic around Styx fails to take hold. Styx, as the light begins to fade, you find yourself just sitting on the floor holding this fragment of wood going, and nothing happens. The magic just fails around you.
Styx just kind of holds it up out in front of him. All right. And then just lobs it into the rest of the fire with the
Styx, I thought I had lost you to this tree's influence. Please do not do this.
I did
next to you.
explain myself.
Why is everything that this thing does in front of us always creepy? Like,
Hey, this is our good loyal friend Styx. Creepy is
the way he cast that spell, ichor started coming out of all his joints.
Yes,
Why?
that was a bit much.
You hear from next to you, Theo, Sen nods, and she goes, I'm pretty sure that was ectoplasm. I've seen really angry ghosts do that.
I'm sorry,
cannot
what?
help how I look.
He has a point, sir. He cannot help how he looks.
But
I was created this way.
But magic goo coming out of you, Yeah.
Can we resist a phrase magic?
drained.
Well, I guess each to his own. He did help us defeat the tree.
He has been a loyal companion since we found him. I think now that the tree's influence has left him, we can trust him once more.
It's at this point.
I am an agent of good.
An agent of good. It's at this point. I need everyone to. Who has a passive perception of more than, I believe it was 17 is the key.
17.
I think I'm the highest
Yeah.
at 16.
Yeah. It's at this
Unless-
moment. It's at this moment, as you guys look around, Raspip's gone.
No,
Figured as much.
Raspip.
I would like to say
As the
Raspip sucks.
Raspip, as the perfect distraction
You're
manifests itself in front of you, you watch as Styx and Theo start throwing down. You don't know what's going on. They're arguing over a stick. Styx is looking like he wants to do some magic with it. Theo's got such a hard-on for murdering these druids. It's all he can think about. But the good news is this really draws the attention of everyone over towards this part of the cavern. Even Davian and Elvia, the two were-ravens, you watch as they're very much caught up in what's going on and look over, giving you free reign of the chamber, and everyone's with everyone's back turned and people not really looking over.
What was it? So that I go pick up the body of Sophia. Was it? Let's
We're gonna stick with Raspip just for a moment because like that went on for a bit of time. Raspip had like a solid 5 to 8 minutes while you guys were arguing over what to do with Styx. Raspip, my man. No one's watching what you're up to. What would you like to do?
Raspip is just going to take a cheeky little look at the tree, and I think just do an investigation on it before I think getting out of here. He recognized that the tree has got some description of magical significance there, and in the event that there's anything that can be recovered which can potentially lead to Raspip having some level of additional power that's there, he's 100% going to ransack the shit out of it before he pisses off into the sunset, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah. I'll grab an investigation or perception check, please, Raspip. And you'll get a little plus to this because you have time and you are unobserved. 7.
No, not so good.
Raspip, it doesn't occur to you to maybe not touch the remnants of the tree. You just begin sifting through, looking for signs of anything useful. And as you go through, you're not really finding much of interest, but the more contact you have with the central core, even as it's burning away, and there's the massive pillar roots that were holding the roof aloft have now mostly burned away. It's really just this central core, this really dense section of wood that's just starting to finish burning. As you begin sort of pouring through it with your hands, I am going to need another Constitution saving throw as you begin touching the core of the tree with your hand with the cursed ring on it, please.
I am fantastic at these. This won't be a problem. Oh, that's kind of all right.
13. Raspip.
Lucky for some.
As you begin pouring through the section of wood, I mean, there's really not a lot left here. And it's as you're sort of placing your hand, trying to reach down to see if there's anything shiny. It looks like there might be some interesting things like tucked away at the very bottom of the cluster. You feel a splinter in your left hand. I'm guessing it's your left hand that's got the new ring on it because you're right.
Yeah, it's a left hand that rings
Feel a
up.
splinter, this sudden sharp pain in the middle finger of your left hand. As you pull it back, you can see a splinter from the tree, partly embedded into your finger, the finger that has the ring on it. And as you go pull the splinter out, you watch as it suddenly moves and wriggles into your finger.
Okay.
Does that cause a reaction that we then see from
That
Raspip?
sense of coldness that you felt before Raspip slowly starts to return, and you watch as the skin on that left hand slowly begins to drain of colour.
Cool.
Part B of the plan, peace out.
Yeah, after not finding anything and giving himself a little bit of a tree boo-boo, Raspip is going to, I think, not want to acknowledge the fact that he needs help from the rest of the party at this point. And he's, probably just going to go off on his own way and try and work this out solo.
Raspip, as you sneak on out through the entrance, you pass by the destroyed ritual circle. On the surface, you see the remains of the enormous tree blight, still partly destroyed, now rotting away very, very quickly. And as you make your way down the hill and head east...
Just at the top, as I make it out of this cavern that's here, Raspip in the dirt on the way out is going to leave a Raspip was here in the ground. Just a cheeky little bit of graffiti that everybody's going to have to walk past.
Nice. You just quickly scratch Raspip was here. Nice.
Yeah, with a Z. Yeah.
Raspip, as you make your way down the hill and away from the rest of the party, we're going to deal with what you've just done to yourself, I think, as a little bonus at the end, just for the viewers. So once we've wrapped up with the players, I think we'll quickly hang around, just you and I for a moment, just at the very end, to enjoy what you have done to yourself. Or maybe we should save this for the next time they see Raspip. Actually, do you know what? I'm actually changing my mind. I think it's going to be way funnier if you just come back with this effect having been kicked in. Sorry, that's what we're going to do, because it's too funny, and I don't want the players to accidentally or intentionally see what you've done yet. I think it's far funnier if it's a blind reaction when they next see you. Incredible. Back down in the chamber, as you guys realize Raspip's gone. Jonor, I saw you raise your hand. Did you have a thought, did you?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Is anyone else getting a weird echoey sound coming through?
Yeah, I've got a double Owen.
Got a double Owen?
I don't.
Aren't you lucky?
I'm getting a rumble.
Yeah, it's like a really muffled echo of Owen in the background.
Right, let me as a quick...
Oh, it sounds fine to me.
I would, wouldn't it?
Here we go.
Well, yeah, because I like Owen and respect him.
Stream doesn't have a double, I know, I can see. Is that better now, Raph?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's disappeared now.
Done. There you go.
Yeah, well, then I scoop up the Druid. Come, Davi and Elvia, let's get out of here and get you safe. But the Raspip mentioned that he brought the young Matakov girl into combat and turned her into a gorilla. Was she safe?
As you say this, you watch as Davian freezes and turns towards you and goes, "Sorry, what did you just say? My daughter is here."
Well, on one hand, she fought incredibly bravely and was one of the strongest fighters I've ever seen. On the other hand, that gnome was pure evil and disregarded both our wishes and her auntie's wishes to not bring her. I was trying to keep her safe. The gnome disobeyed me and convinced a small child to come and be turned into a gorilla. But Fred, she was safe, right? Nothing bad happened to her?
No, we all protected her.
Is she back with what was the...
She stayed up top.
Lara.
What is she back with? She's safe with Lara?
I assume.
Yeah, they're up flying, I'm pretty sure.
Well, do not worry. She is safe, and well, truthfully, I don't know if we could have done it without her, but I did want to do it without her. But that gnome is he is pure unmitigated evil. Speaking of him, where is he? Where is? I want to get that ring back to bury it with the Druid here. Has anyone seen Raspip?
What?
You watch as Sen looks around, pauses for a second, and then begins sort of sniffing the air, very like wolf-like. No, he's gone. He's snuck out. I didn't even hear him.
Well, I mean, he's Tithla's best friend. I assume he'll just be waiting outside for us to say a heartfelt goodbye to Tithla.
Okay.
Surely, as best friends, they would never part in such a way.
Okay, if we weren't in such a, I want to try and follow him, and I've got words for you when I get back. Okay?
Oh, you have words for me? Oh wow!
I have words for you. Now don't.
So no. now you have time for me.
No, I don't. That's the point. We're in a hurry.
I gather up the Druid and head towards the exit.
I would like to try and track Raspip.
Try and track Raspip. I'd love a survival check, Tithla.
Mm-hmm.
You're good at these.
I can do that. Oh, it's a 14.
It's a 14. Tithla. While Raspip was pretty stealthy, there are signs of his passing. You can see tiny footsteps every so often.
He's passing. He's dead.
You can see signs of his movement through the cavern. Little footsteps occasionally marking the floor. It looks like he's made his way back outside again. And as you lead the party back up and out, as you leave the caverns into the relative sunlight of the outdoors of Barovia, you quickly spy. It's subtle, Tithla, but there is a sign that really only a tracking genius that yourself could use to recognize that someone has been in a location, and it is the text "Raspip was here," scratched into the dirt out the front.
I found a clue.
Yeah, it's a pretty important clue. The others would have missed it, but Tithla, you got this.
And are there footprints continuing from there?
Tiny little footprints.
They seem normal sized to me.
Yeah, they're normal sized footprints. They're not these like fucking giant stompers the others use to walk around with.
So unelegant. Okay, can we follow them?
As we were, is this Tithla just going off by herself, or?
So as you guys emerge back up on the hillside, I should describe a little bit more what you see.
Do a sweep. Did I find the gem downstairs?
Jonor, no sign of the gem downstairs. As you begin to go over the rest of the room, begin to look around. You do, however, find something else that the rest of the group missed. I'll quickly pull it open and I'll read out to you what you find. As you peer over towards the northwestern side of the chamber, you can see what looks like a small campsite. It's probably where the Druids had set up a bit of a makeshift camp while they were deploying their ritual. They were working on this magic. And you can see as you look over the section of the campsite, you can see what looks like a very long, jagged spear. You can see that it is mostly wood. The shaft is wood wrapped in white strips of cloth, marked with almost like red beads along the top. But it has a stone blade at the very top, and then a smaller stone blade at the bottom. I'm going to chuck a picture for you in the Roll20 chat. You should see come up on the stream. And as you look over, Jonor, you can see that this weapon is indeed glowing softly with magic. It looks like it is some sort of abjuration magic.
Oh, do I have the time? Is everyone at this point in time, are they leaving? I'm trying to figure out if I've got time to cast identify.
I'd say you can see the rest of the party is slowly making their way up the pathway. Yeah, Tithla, you go.
Tithla wants to run and chase and get eyes on Raspip.
That makes sense.
Jonor just seeing everyone go, Jonor just grabs the thing and goes to take it with him.
Jonor, as you grab the spear, you tuck it into your backpack. As you, I've got to always say that like that, just so that when it is a cursed item, when it's not, you
I'm
never
just holding
know.
up when we get mimicked.
Oh, good. As you grab the spear, you watch as it opens up into a mouth and wraps around your forearm. You hear nom, nom, nom. No, as you make your way up towards the top, following Tithla, you can see Tithla's running quite quickly. Tithla, as you get to the top of the hill and look down, you can see the tracks kind of vanish off into the lower sections of the hill, heading towards the forest. Can I get you to make me a perception check, please?
Perception check?
Perception check.
I can do that. Ooh,
8.
It's an 8.
Tithla, there's no signs of Raspip. He's probably used some sort of magic to vanish. Survivor was to track, perception is to spot. You specifically said you wanted to see Raspip.
She was trying to chase after him to then get eyes on him.
Exactly. So the perception check was to give you that.
She was... Sorry, mention that I didn't clearly communicate was to chase after him.
Yeah. That's happened.
Until he was then in line.
No, that bit hasn't happened. It's almost like Raspip might be hiding.
So can we then try and track?
That's what that was.
You got a 14 on the survival and an 8 on that. Neither of them were finding him. Your best friend's gone, buddy.
Coming up behind Tithla as she kind of runs off, Styx is just going to go, "What are you doing?"
Nothing. I was just trying to find him. He ran off. Okay, never mind.
Oh, you were trying to find the gnome.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was our friend.
Styx
You
is
hear
gonna,
a weird squeaking
Somebody
coming from
else-
the woods.
Somebody else has abandoned me after they said they would stay around.
Styx is going to cast Locate Object on the ring, which only works for 1,000 feet, so it might be out of range, but going to give it a crack.
Styx, how familiar are you with this ring? You just saw
I mean,
it.
I would have seen it.
Yeah, you did see
You could do it on Raspip's ring.
In fairness, you
Yeah.
can cast it on my ring.
Yeah,
That's
you have
true
seen
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you cast the spell, you definitely sense the direction the ring is coming from. It's pinging from. It looks like it's due east.
He is just there. And Styx is going to point
Just east.
to where. Yeah.
Let's go.
And Tithla starts running in that direction.
As I,
Styx
the rest of-
doesn't follow.
Yeah, as I'm slowly making our way out as I'm holding a decaying corpse.
Let's stick with.
He's running. I kind of need to get back to the. My head is just spinning. I need a rest and a proper heal.
Oh well, that's so out of character for you needing to go have a nap.
Let's stick with Tithla just for a second, as the rest of you. As the rest of you get to the top of the hill, Tithla, you take off at a dash. As you run rapidly, trying to chase down Raspip, would you like to make a survival or perception check, please, as you take off on your own, knowing the direction in which he is located?
13.
13,
Man.
Tithla. The dice are not your friends tonight. Just like Raspip.
No.
As you take off into the wood... No, sorry. As you take off running into the woods, Raspip, are you just making your way east, or have you gotten away enough from the party into the woods that surround Yester Hill and are taking a bit of a moment to sort of catch up and recover?
I'm probably aiming to get maybe 15 minutes away from where the party was before I take a bit of a break, but not an unreasonable distance.
Yeah. And are you sprinting or just walking at a brisk pace?
I'm Raspipping it. Just
Raspipping it. So
Off we
walking,
go.
meandering
Yeah.
at a very casual pace.
Yeah.
Tithla, after about 2 minutes of running through the woods, you just crash into Raspip, who's just meandering along the forest pathway by himself. As you come storming out of the bushes and crash into him, you catch up to Raspip.
What are you doing?
No, I'm gonna go and do some stuff.
No, we were still finishing off what we were doing.
I mean, you're finished off what you're doing, but my whole goal was to destroy the Druids for touching my stuff. And from my understanding, all the Druids are gone. So I've got other people on my list who have touched my stuff, or tried to touch my stuff, or even looked at my stuff in a way that I didn't like them looking at my stuff, who have got to die.
Okay.
That's the quote for Raspip's wiki page right there. I'm going to update that.
That is so unhinged.
It's the quote for Raspip. I want that on a t-shirt. Yeah.
You just left though.
Well, we're still friends. Don't get me wrong. Not an issue there.
You just
but
left.
well, I mean, I've got stuff I got to do.
We're
Do you want me to hang around?
taking our relationship long distance, Tithla. I've got to be far away for that to happen.
You can come with me if you want, but I got to keep going. I got stuff I got to do.
Okay. No, you can come back for the night and then you can go in the morning. You have to say goodbye.
Nah, I'm pretty good as I am.
He hasn't turned any cats into dogs yet using polymorph. I mean, that sounds like unfinished business to me.
That's what friends do when they leave. They say goodbye.
Well, all right. Goodbye. See ya. And Raspip's gonna keep walking.
Oh.
Is this what you were hoping for, Jacob, or is this just turning the knife in a bit deeper? I thought I'd spare you this, but you insisted, so now you get it.
This is great.
Okay. Spoken.
It's good for me too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I just thought we were friends. Goodbye.
Oh, hang on. You said that friends say goodbye. I just said goodbye to you, and you haven't said goodbye to me. This is you not wanting to be friends with me, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you are mistaken because I came to find you. You
haven't said goodbye after I said goodbye.
Well, you walked away. I'm just...
Goodbye!
This is hard to watch.
Then.
This is rough. Tithla's abandonment complex. He just watches it goes up another tier.
Pinpoint the exact moment her heart rips in half.
Yeah. If you look real close, you can see the exact moment this tiny goblin's heart breaks in two.
Okay then. Goodbye. Good luck with your rings. I hope they're worth it.
Thanks. Catch you later.
They are.
Raspip just keeps walking east. Away we go.
Tithla, you watch as...
had every
trauma roll at this
casting
point.
Hunter's mark to be able to track, but there's no point.
It's a good point, Styx. Does this count as a type of insanity check or a sanity check? I would say that Tithla is now starting to develop quite a lot of emotional trauma around friends abandoning her. Jacob, with your permission, I would like to ask you to roll a sanity check for Tithla to avoid...
I think that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Let's see how the dice go. Oh!
It's a natural one.
Fuck yes.
Good night for me. We're all having fun tonight, aren't we? Every single one
We
of
haven't
us.
we haven't had a natural one on the sanity check, have we? This is our first
Yay
one.
for friends.
And Owen, with that, I've got Misty Step as my last spell. Can I just disappear and go?
Yes, you can.
Like
As
he
you turn
never
up-
existed.
Do you know what you can do? You can turn around and be like, one last thing, Tithla, and then Misty Step and vanish.
Before we pretend he was never there.
He's just been in Tipler's head the whole time.
Oh. So, natural one on the sanity and madness table. This isn't even something that's up on the wiki because it hadn't happened yet, so I was keeping this one for later, for when it finally happened. I can't believe this is our first time with a madness. Tithla, here's what I need you to do, please. I need you to please quickly roll me a D100.
I'd love to.
Yeah, I thought you might be keen.
Can I get an indicator? Is high good or is high bad or is it random?
I generally randomize my tables.
Cool.
27. Thank you, Tithla.
27.
That's bad.
Could you please roll me a D10?
Love to. 2.
2. Tithla, you are going to suffer paranoia for the next 2 days.
We've already got that.
In addition, you find it hard to form close personal connections with those who you are with.
That is perfect.
I'm not done. There's more. There's more. In addition, you are going to have disadvantage on wisdom and charisma checks for the duration.
For 2 days?
For 2 days.
Okay, and here's wisdom and charisma.
I'm so sorry.
You didn't have to follow.
I'm so sorry.
Checks or check saving throws?
Just checks. So just skill checks. So even spellcasting, things like that, not affected. It's just so things like intimidation, persuasion. Yeah.
Tithla's paranoia is probably coming from the fact that they didn't get a chance to say goodbye, even after Raspip said, "Friends, say goodbye."
Oh shit!
I'm so sorry, Jacob.
Yeah,
so the natural
needs another handicap.
So the natural one moves you up to the worse form of the madness table. In this case, moves you from short-term to long-term madness and increases the duration. So that is why it is so much worse.
So to be clear, paranoia, hard to form close friends.
Hard to form close connections. It's hard for you to form connections and to trust people, to feel like you can communicate with them effectively, to feel like you can trust them.
New or any?
Any.
And disadvantage on wisdom and charisma for 2 days.
2 days. I'm so
That
sorry.
long? We're napping for a fair portion of it.
back with the non-traumatized members of the team.
Tithla slowly wanders back, crying. After she gets up from just sitting against a tree for a bit. She pulls out.
How far would it take Tithla to get back?
That she wrote a long time ago.
Yep.
That she had hidden once after she'd thrown tomatoes at somebody who was, and she'd had a bad experience with that, and she'd written an apology letter that she'd left and then found, and she pulls that out again and goes over once more about how this is just one more person that she's hurt.
And someone who's left without saying goodbye.
There's one more thing I need you to do, Tithla, not to rub salt in the wound, but you are alone in the woods surrounding Yester Hill. I'd also
roll for salt.
I'd also please love it if you could just quickly roll me a d20, just a little d20, please.
I'd love to. That's a nat 1, guys.
Nat 2. What?
I'm so proud of Tithla.
Oh my god.
Tithla.
Yo, what's up?
Hold on, can I make one thing?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that that's with advantage because she's paranoid now and would be looking for anything?
I will factor that into this decision, but it doesn't mean that the encounter roll is changed. It just means that different things happen around it. Jacob, did you forget to pay the Roll20 admins for good rolls today?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Need to work
Sorry,
hard.
my bad. Was that pop up that I hit X on when at the start of the session?
Your ad block got in the way of it.
Damn it, so close.
Tithla.
Yo, what's up?
As you begin making your way back through the forest, we're going to jump with the rest of the party and deal with you in a second because I need to have a serious think about how we're going to handle this.
Well, I've got a nice corpse gently heading outside. How far away would Tithla have gotten? Are you talking
She sprinted for a good 2-3 minutes, so a decent distance.
Not really visible from the hill anymore.
No, vanished into the tree line, into the forest around.
No, I won't immediately worry, but
you know it's east.
Yeah. Well, and when I talk to Styx, I might.
Yeah. But as you guys emerge on top, you see Lara and Stefania rushing down. Having seen Styx and Tithla emerge, then Tithla take off into the tree line. Lara and Stefania take on human form once again, abandoning their raven form and transforming back into human form. And as they see Davian and Elvia, you watch as Lara rushes up and grabs her brother and her father in a huge hug, tears streaming down her face as she turns towards you. Goes, "Oh my god, thank you so much, thank you. I was so worried that they wouldn't be okay, that by waiting we put them in danger, but it's all okay. You guys did it. You did, and the druids."
I worried much the same. I was also terribly worried that our delay would have caused some trouble, but it seems that it
ended up being the right call, I think.
Perhaps it was, Jonor. But they are safe. As we promised, we did everything we could. The druids are defeated. Your winery should be safe, at least from that threat. We managed to find one of the gems. We will look around to see if we can find the other one. But first, Luther, Jonor, Styx, would you mind helping me bury this fallen adventurer? I think up here in the sun should be sufficient for her. The big white tree that was on top of the server, that's
rotting,
burning.
Rotting and burning away.
Well then, in the stories I would have heard about, the Circle of Wildfire removing Gulthias trees from when they destroyed the Circle of Decay, they found them. Does the area normally return to its usual state?
Yeah, sometimes it does rather quickly. Sometimes it takes a long period of time. It depends how deep the corruption ran. And really, Theo, at this point, this Gulthias tree was immensely powerful. It could take a long time for the land to heal.
Well, I think maybe we bury her here. Maybe she will help restore the balance to the land. She was a circle of the shepherd. Perhaps many of the woodland creatures will come to tend to her. Please, will you help me dig a grave and say some words?
All right.
Davian nods immediately. Yes, of course, it is the least I could do.
We did not know the name of that poor woman, but
Was she alive when you were there? Oh.
She was. The first day they brought us here, she was still alive.
So, roughly in the last 8 to 12 hours, she possibly would have been killed?
They placed her inside the mouth of the tree. They were trying to extract her essence from her to be able to transform again. They claimed that she had the blood of a shapeshifter, that she had the powers of a shapeshifter, and as they pulled forth her magic and essence, she screamed. I've never heard anything like it. And as he says that, you watch as his son Elvius slowly places his hands over his ears and hunches down, looking haunted.
I'm sorry I had to go through that, and I'm sorry she had to go through that. If only we could have gotten here any sooner than we did. But please don't stay around. Take your son, head back to the winery, be safe. But before you do, perhaps investigate the large decaying tree blight over there. But we found one of your gems within one of the winery. Perhaps your remaining gem will be in there.
As you point that out, Theo, you watch as Lara, not big on PDA and you watch as she gives Davian a punch on the shoulder, and that's the amount of family affection she extends to Davian as she wanders over and starts kicking through the remains of the tree. After a few seconds, you hear her exclaim, and as she bends down and pulls up, she goes, "Yeah, right. You weren't joking. It's right here. It looks like it's a bit cracked, but I mean, given time and tools, I'm sure we could try and at least partly repair it. Doesn't seem broken, and I don't see any signs of that strange smoky mottling that the other gem had back at the winery. Maybe with the tree gone, it's able to heal. Who knows?"
Well, yes, try to repair it. Make sure you check the other gem as well. If it is still corrupted, we will swing past the winery on our way back to the monastery, and if it is still corrupted, we will take it to be purified.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Please go. You have much rebuilding to do, and I'm sure you would rather be around families than attend a funeral of one you did not know.
If it was not the case that I was worried about my home and about about Adrian, tell me, where is my other son? Where is Adrian?
He is safe at the monastery in Kresk.
Oh, that is a relief. Maybe once we get back to the monastery, Lara, would you be happy to fly to fetch him, and he can fly back with you? Yeah, that's not a problem. I can leave now, and I can meet you back at the winery once I've gone and got Adrian, and then, we'll check in with the other Mardikovs, see if anyone else is free. We'll come by, see what we can do to help rebuild. Thank you, Lara, and thank you for looking after Stefania in my absence. It is much appreciated. Come.
The one other consideration is if the gems are in fact too damaged, the abbot may be able to repair your gems. He's turned for much better, and he's good now. He might be able to repair your gems. I think the light he channels is also the light that emanates. So
me and Jonor were able to help him back to the light. He is now a force of righteousness and good in these lands. It was sorely needed.
You watch as Davian slowly nods. Please do come by the winery. Perhaps there is a conversation we need to have. We could be allies. There might be some things that we can offer you. We are keepers of knowledge. And as he sort of says that, you watch as Lara shakes her head, looks at you guys, nods and goes, yeah, I've already had the conversation. We're all over it. He sort of freezes, looks and goes you spoke to them. You told them the truth.
Yeah, we went into a fun little hold.
Probably best not to speak about this out in the open, but yeah, when we get back to the winery, we can sample some wines and catch up like old friends. How does that sound?
It sounds good. So I think we do need to have a slightly more open and frank discussion now that everything can be on the table.
Yes, I think that is a very good idea. I can't thank you enough. Please come by the winery. There are some things that we can give you, some help that we can provide, and hopefully some small token of our gratitude for saving my family, for saving my home. Words are not enough. He watches. Davian nods.
and then transforms down into raven form. Elvira, Stefania, and Lara following suit as they all take off. As Stefania goes to fly off, you watch as she pauses, comes and lands on your shoulder, Theo, and then caws loudly before jumping back down and transforming back into human form. Tithla ran off by herself, just over into the woods.
What do you mean?
I know.
Styx, what do you mean she ran off into the woods?
He went after the gnome.
Friends, I will go find Tithla, please.
I'll come with you. I'll provide some aid. I'll look from the treetops.
Jonor, Styx, could you please finish digging the grave? We'll be back soon. I'm sure there's nothing, but I'd rather make sure she is safe and not lost. You know how she gets when she gets upset. I can only imagine what Raspip leaving did to her, being best friends and all.
All right. She has gone east.
Off east we go.
I'll stick to the treetops and I'll follow along with you, just keeping a bit of an eye out.
Perfect. Cool. For the moment, we're going to jump back with... Jonor, you go.
Look, I can actually... a very recent skill. I've been able to locate people when I really need to. I get a feeling and I can see where they've gone in a certain radius. So, look, I can probably come to find her.
By the way, sorry, I perhaps wrongly assumed you would have no real skill in helping find someone in the forest. But
I have eyes that see beyond the normal planes these days.
All right, well, then perhaps we should all go. We'll come back to bury the druid.
I will complete the burial. It will not take me long.
Okay, once it is buried, please come along, and we will all meet up. We'll head east.
All right, one moment before we leave. And Styx is just going to walk straight up to Jonor, straight into his personal space, and just reach up and touch him on the head, without any indication, and cast Lay on Hands for 35 hit points.
Oh, sweet relief, thank you.
All right.
What does your healing look like? Do you pump like a healing goo into his mouth that he has to drink?
Go ahead and say that.
No, it's like that same misty sort of ichor, just kind of. It's almost like a viscous mist. It's hard to explain, but it's like this purple color, and it just kind of seeps out from.
It's miscus. Yeah. We know what it's like. We know miscus.
Yeah,
it's miscus.
Having this fog roll over Jonor's vision, he's going to scream. He's genuinely.
Oh yeah, you're scared of the fog.
As the darkness rolls over him,
You've got a fear.
He kicks.
Does that mean he has to
yes.
too?
I need a sanity check.
And he kicks. He gives you the boot and tries to run.
Jonor, I'm gonna need a sanity because Jonor failed a couple of sanity checks against the mists of Barovia. He is now terrified of mist and fog. That's a 19. Jonor, you actually managed to contain yourself. You don't have a full-blown panic attack. You managed to hold in that fear. You know this is different. It feels different. It's not that cold, almost like seeping, creeping fog that you've seen around the borders of Barovia, or that you saw in the village of I had a mental blank on the village, you guys.
Kresk?
Yeah.
Bridge? Or...
Give me a second.
Dowbridge.
But this feels different. There's a warmth here. It's not that cold, enveloping mist. And as you feel the mist roll over you, manage to contain yourself as your wounds begin to heal and knit back together.
There's actually quite a strong warmth to it. It's like bright sunlight. If you're looking up into the sun, it has that sort of same feel to it, despite what it looks like.
Like a coronal mist almost around high altitude clouds. I'm with you, Raph. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Jonor, you managed to hold back the fear. You do not have a full-blown panic attack with a 19.
I'd freeze then, and the boot doesn't come out. All right, well, he takes steps backwards and turns east. And then how would locate creature look? He's going to say Tithla and start listing some of the features. Glowing green emerald skin, Jacob, and other things, and starts casting like a creature.
You ran out of things very quickly.
And other things.
Yes, and other things.
I have now been gifted advantage by chat. Thank you, Tank Hunter. I'm going to enjoy that.
And you would also note, as you're doing that, then you look down and you see Jacob standing next to you.
Yeah.
Oh, this one doesn't help. The bow, the cloak, the boots.
The boots
And,
with the fur. Fur. A bow strong as taut as her is the song, right?
So all the fucking monsters in the forest are now looking at her.
No. We should jump back to Tithla, I think. And I think that's the good thing to wrap the session on.
You
Tithla,
don't have to.
as you begin slowly making your way back crying, you hear a sudden crack nearby of a footstep, a twig breaking in the forest. And as you spin around and look, the shadows from the trees seem to draw closer around you.
Hello?
Hello, Tithla. Stepping up from behind the largest tree near, you see a familiar figure. Wearing the guise of Damien, you see Strahd von Zarovich striding into the forest nearby. Still wearing the form of Damien, the long black hair tied into a ponytail, the hunter's garbs, the bow on his back. And as he smiles, you see the pointed canine teeth. What is wrong? I see you crying. Your wails could attract something dangerous in these woods. You should be more careful.
You shouldn't be wearing those clothes. That's not who you are.
Why not? It is a name and a face, a form that I have worn many, many times. For more years than you have been alive, little one. For many more.
What? It's not who I thought that was.
No.
You're mean to me.
Life is mean. This world is mean. I am just trying to prepare you for the darkness.
You don't have to. You didn't have to. You chose to. And I was silly enough to think that you were my friend.
We can still be friends, Tithla. After all, I am friends with one of your friends.
Who are you friends with?
One of your companions has come to me, has joined my cause. He is now a close friend.
Is it what's his face who was the mayor of the town? Because he didn't seem like he was gonna be like coming to you for help.
No, Tithla. Someone who you were much closer with. He misses you, you know. You and all your friends. You ignored my invitation for dinner. That was rather rude.
You didn't send the carriage you said you were going to send.
He did. You guys weren't there. You'd fucked off to the winery.
That's not sending the carriage then, buddy.
He'd send it to where you guys said you'd be. Did you still want to attend? The tables are set. We so rarely get guests at Castle Ravenloft. It would do the old halls good to have warmth and life in them again.
You're lying. I don't believe you.
Do you want to roll an insight check, Tithla?
No, Tithla never rolls insight checks.
Fair enough.
Tithla has never rolled an insight check, and that
Tithla.
will continue for a very long time.
Tithla, what reason would I have to lie to you?
What reason would you have had to have said that we were friends and then not be friends? I just don't understand. Somebody's trying to trick me. And maybe it's not you. Maybe that was mean to call you a liar. I'm sorry about that. There's a lot going on and I'm confused and no one trusts me and I just upset everyone I know.
Tithla. He's going to get
Yes?
down on one knee in front of you and look you in the eyes. You watch as the Damo form melts away, replacing it with the form you much more recognize as Strahd. The black hair and a widow's peak, red eyes softly glowing, very pale skin, wearing this intricate, beautiful armor, this knotwork of metal loops and designs on the front, long flowing cape behind. And as he looks you in the eyes and pauses, Tithla, if I wanted to harm you, you would be harmed. If I wanted you dead, you would be dead. You really think I am not all-powerful here? This is my domain, Tithla. I do not want you harmed. I do not want you dead. I want us to be friends. And he's going to look you in the eye as he says that. Tithla?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
What's the oh no? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Tithla, could you do me a favor, please? It's just a little favor.
Of course I can. Anything for you, Owen.
Aw, thanks, mate. Could I please get you to roll me a wisdom saving throw?
You reckon you can do the hat trick for us, Jacob? Get that third natural
17.
one, mate.
17? 17 is the DC, Tithla. Meets it, beats it.
That paranoia come in handy.
Isn't that a disadvantage with the paranoia though?
And not saving checks, I already clarified.
Not saving checks. Not saving checks.
Very well done.
Tithla, I'm just willing to see if you can, if you know if you've passed. You don't. Okay, Tithla. As Strahd leans down, looks in your eyes, and says this, there's a moment where you almost feel this sense of trust begin to wash away your paranoia and fear. Just for a moment. Because the fear and paranoia are stronger in this moment. And as you feel that trust begin to ebb away, replaced with that paranoia, you watch as Strahd cocks his head, almost a little bit confused for a moment, and then slowly nods.
Tithla takes a half step back with that feeling of the paranoia.
Has there ever been a time where not being able to make close connections has been a good thing?
Tithla was going to get a little secret bonus to this anyway, but didn't need it regardless because of the paranoia, because of being unable to form close connections, but you didn't need it. 17 is the DC, you passed it all by yourself. As he looks confused and cocks his head, you watch as he slowly stands up and looks down. The warmth that you saw before Tithla now being replaced by almost a distance as he watches you take a step back. So,
Yes?
you have dealt a blow to Sergei this day. I sense his undead creations, the tree that he had been possessing with his magic is gone. You have tipped the balance in my favor.
If you say so. I don't know. I sort of just went with my friend. I just went with them and we did some stuff.
You know, at this moment, most people would be begging, on their knees, saying that of course they completed this for their lord. But you are not. I like that about you, Tithla. You are so refreshingly honest, and so unheedingly naive.
I really don't know what you mean by that.
As he smiles, his canine teeth slowly cutting into his lower lip, visible over the flesh of his lips.
You are all alone here, Tithla. You have run out into the middle of the forest. There is no one here.
Exactly. No one.
And yet,
'cause
you
they
do not
leave me.
run.
Well, I assume you're gonna just leave me again.
I could take you back to Ravenloft. Make sure you never leave anyone's side again. I could have you there, keep you with the other pets. You would have company. People you know. Friends you have not yet made. I could force you. But I don't want to. I want you to come to me. Begging and afraid. Your friends all gone, lost to the darkness of these lands, corrupted as all who come here are. And you... You will be the last to fall. I sense this already. Or will you be the next? I sense your mind is close to breaking.
I don't know. But that was a lot of words, and I don't understand a lot of what you're talking about. I'm gonna do something that maybe a lot of people could learn from. I'm gonna say goodbye. Goodbye.
And she's gonna turn around and...
Oh, good. Yeah, fantastic.
Away.
As soon as you turn your back, Tithla, thank you for that. As soon as you turn your back, you feel a strong claw-like grip on the back of your neck as you're slowly lifted up and turned around to face Strahd. He looks you dead in the eyes.
You don't turn your back on the Lord of these lands, not if you wish to keep your head attached to your neck. The only reason you are alive is because you interest me, because you have not yet proven that you are the weak, pitiful scum that find their way lost in the mists each and every time. This cycle that just keeps spinning. I want to see what breaks you.
Okay. Can I go now?
Why? Where would you go? Back to your friends who turn their backs on you so easily.
Well, it's, better the devil you know sort of thing. I know most of them. I like, I like them.
You should pick your words more carefully.
I don't what?
One of your group. You haven't yet figured out.
What? Like, has something happened with Jonor?
Oh, my poor sweet summer child. You really are naive.
He slowly puts you back on the ground, dusts his hands off as if nothing had happened.
Oh dear. Well, I hope they don't kill you when they stab you in the back, little one.
Me too.
Do you think you know who it might be?
Well, I think the problem is you never know what you know. You think you know someone, you think you can trust them.
Indeed.
And then they just leave you.
You haven't even noticed that one of your friends was replaced. Not the same. They are one of his now. One of Sergei's.
What?
You really haven't noticed.
Which one?
Do you want me to share?
I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't I?
It is so tempting to tell you.
Okay,
but then,
go for it.
Watching you try and figure it out would be far more amusing for me. No. Run back. If you guess correctly which one of your friends has been taken by Sergei, the next time we meet, I will have something for you. A boon that you may ask of me. If you guess incorrectly, you will join my family at Ravenloft. That is the deal.
Do I have to accept that?
You do not. You don't have choices here. You do as you are told.
So can I go now?
Yes, off you run, back to your friends. They are coming for you now. Running through the woods, trying to find you. We best make sure they find you in one piece.
Is that... that seemed like there was more tone in that than I understood. Was that meant to mean something?
Well, depends who's coming for you. What if it is the one who is owned by Sergei? If they have come alone and they find you in these woods, they might just pick you off. defenseless. Leave your body. Oh, I could not find our companion Tithla. She was lost, gone forever to the mists of Borovia.
You know that I can handle myself.
Oh, against the powers of Sergei. I doubt it. Well, I hope the one that comes for you is not the traitor little one. And I hope I get to see you at dinner. Don't miss it this time.
Where will you send another cart?
I think this time I will come myself. Actually, I have a better idea. I will send a chaperone. Someone who you know, who will bring you back to Ravenloft.
Is it Damo? Oh, wait.
It is not Damo. Damo is a face, a mask that I wear. I will send a chaperone to bring you to Ravenloft.
Okay. Normally the chaperone are like, they just sort of stand in the back while the kids dance. Is that different?
This one will be there to make sure you arrive safely. Bring you to the castle. Make sure you do not get lost along the way. Or sidetracked this time.
Okay. Do you know where to send the chaperone? What's their name?
Oh, you will recognize them when you see them. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm gonna worry. Just in the interest of honesty.
You should. And you watch as Strahd slowly begins to dissolve back into mist, melting away into the undergrowth around you. It's at that moment that Jonor, Theo, and Luther burst through the undergrowth. You guys burst through the undergrowth as you hear Tithla yell out, "Okay, bye!"
Theo will immediately just sweep her up into a massive bear hug.
I think Tithla's kind of numb at the moment, and she's having another moment like she did under the house. In what was the city?
That was in
Krez?
That was in Vallaki.
Under the
that was at the that was at the house where we had all the Raspip stuff.
Yeah, we got Raspip.
It's pretty funny.
I have whenever Raspip's around.
Yeah, that's the state that Tithla's in. She's sort of numb and vibrating, shaking a little bit.
Sweeps you up, and you're like, Tithla, are you okay? Is everything all right? I was worried when Styx said you would run off into the woods. There are all sorts of things out here. After Grinner's gone, I'm sorry. I did not want to fight with you. I was being jealous and petty. I'm sorry.
You were different. Maybe it was you.
She mumbles to herself.
What do you mean it was me?
Nothing.
I did pop you up on my shoulder. Come, you can see what it is like to be told. Then we will go back and we'll find Styx, and we have to say farewell to the Druid that we lost. Say some words. We found the third gem. Is that his good fortune?
Yeah, sure. What was the gem? I guess
it was for one of the Matikovs. The Matikov gems. It was in the Winter Splinter Tree.
Are you sure it was the right one?
I think so. It looks the same as the others.
Maybe, are they meant to look the same?
The Matikov seem to think they were.
Okay.
Tithla's just going to continue on that sort of.
And I think that is a
Owen,
good...
I just wanted to do one thing before we go, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I'm on the treetops and I look at them sort of embrace after having lost Tithla for a bit and like reconnecting, and then hearing Grinner the start and just then from Theo, and noticing that like Tithla's safe now while they're embracing, I'm going to close my eyes for a sec. I'm going to think of Grinner. And I'm going to think of the two ghost children that I also had a slight connection with. And I'm going to try and commune with them. Try and contact them somehow. I'm going to try and call out to them in my mind.
Could I get you to please roll with... I'd say this would fall under... I'd say maybe a wisdom check.
Alright, so is that like just like a flat wisdom?
Flat wisdom check, so d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
So,
Jonor, just add to your inventory the blood spear.
just so that we can discuss that next episode.
Got it.
So we don't forget it.
All right, I'm rolling that in the D&D Beyond log.
Perfect.
It's not that crash shot. 5 overall.
Luther, there's nothing there. There's no response, just the swirling mist. From Yesterhill, you can see the mist wall over towards the west and south, taking up the entire horizon. Nothing. Just silent cries of those souls trapped in the mists forever.
As my eyes are closed and I'm trying to just desperately reach out, my fists start clenching, and I feel this sadness wash over me as I'm starting to realize what fate may have befallen him, because in a land like this, you don't just disappear without never being seen again. With all the other disappearances, he's starting to connect the dots.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's all we'll leave it at for now, as he clenches his fists with anger, frustration, and despair, I guess, almost.
And on that note, we will wrap up our Curse of Strahd session for tonight. But don't worry, we will be back next Monday to see more of this. I noticed some of the players have already figured out my devious plan with this.
Chat has too.
Chat has too, 100%.
Either you're sending Gruner or you're sending that dickhead who made the third session, who was enough of a prick that either way, I don't want this to happen. So
I think we all know who we want to see. I want to absolutely give a massive thank you to Andrew for coming back as Raspip. We will have Raspip rejoin us again in the future as a guest. I think we do now. I think we do need to have Raspip come back in the future as a guest to see how that pans out for Raspip. And we will indeed reveal at the beginning of that session, when you guys see Raspip, the results of his curse, which is a spicy meatball. And I'm very looking forward to talking about with Andrew.
Beginning?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. If you're watching us on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go and raid one of our other lovely friends. In this case, we're going to go and raid Corsair's Cove, who we often like to raid on a Monday night when they're playing. Looks like they are playing Humblewood, which is their very, very excellent campaign using the Humblewood TTRPG system, which I thoroughly recommend you go and check out. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on the podcast, you know the drill. Likes, subscribes, reviews, whatever the platform of your choice lets you do it, because it really helps us out. The YouTube algorithm really likes engagement, and it's the best way you can help us out. But from all of us here tonight, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. But until then, farewell, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye,
everyone.
See ya. Bye.